Okay, last one. I'm tired of talking. I'm ready to be done. Do you like how I changed my shirt so it looks like it's a different day, but it's fucking not? Illusions. Okay. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Samantha Leighanne and I talk about books. Today is a little bit of a different kind of video than I usually do. One of the things that I have talked about on multiple occasions is the fact that I cannot do TBRs. Reason being is that I am a mood reader. I have a really hard time saying, this is the book that I'm gonna read, like this is the list of books that I'm gonna read, and this is the only list of books that I'm gonna read for a whole month. Like, I just can't do that to myself. At that point, it begins to feel like a chore, and when it feels like a chore, there is no joy in it anymore, and the whole reason that I read is because I love it, right? So, that said, I, in general, do not do TBRs. Every once in a while, if I'm, like, doing a readathon, I may, like, grab a pool of books and then figure out, like, if I'm feeling anything from that pool of books, but I really don't even do readathons all that much. Have readathons kind of died out? I feel like readathons on BookTube have kind of died out a little bit. Or maybe I'm just not seeing them. I don't know, because I've been in my own little, like, niche community. Ooh, sorry about that. I've been in my own little, like, niche community, you know, the horror community. And I don't see very many readathons happening for that, but today, as I said, is going to be a little bit of a different kind of video than I usually do. As you can see, I have this cart next to me and it's full of books. These are the books that I am immediately most excited to get to. So whenever I do go through and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what am I in the mood for? The very first thing that I do is look at this. If there's nothing that's really grabbing my attention off this, then I'll typically go through and check my Audible library. I'll check my library and, like, you know, just kind of figure out what I'm in the mood for. What I am going to do, I'm not going to be going through this whole cart because there's like 80 books on this cart. It's not 80 books. It's more like, I don't know, 50 maybe, something like that. I don't know. It's too many to go through. So I'm just going to grab a couple and I'm going to highlight ones that I'm actually, like, really pumped for, or maybe some that I'm not pumped for, and you guys can change my mind. How does that sound? I'm just gonna pick randomly. Well, I say randomly. Okay, so this is The Return by Rachel Harrison. One of the other things that we really do need to acknowledge before I go any further is that I am absolute shit at synopsis. I like to go into books as absolutely blindly as I can, just because that's how I live my life. And I feel like when I do that, I'm, like, less apt to be disappointed by things, if that makes any sense. So this has been recommended to me multiple times. So that said, I am excited to read it. So first of all, can we talk about how wonderfully pink this book is? Like, this is a cover buy, like 100%. The briefest synopsis that I can give you is that I guess this is, like, a group of friends. I think it's 3 women. And one of them goes missing, and then she, like, reappears 2 weeks later, and then the 3 of them are like, okay, not 2 weeks, I'm sorry, 2 years. She comes back, like, 2 years later, and they're like, okay, we're gonna, like, meet, and we're gonna, like, reunite, and it's gonna be amazing. And so they do that, but the girl who came back, like, she's not okay, and they gotta figure out why she's not okay and, like, what's going on with that. So reading the synopsis, I have high hopes. This is also a debut. Have you read it? Let me know how you liked it in the comments. Next, I am going to talk about Goblin by Josh Malerman. I'm going to be totally honest with y'all. I had zero intention of buying this book. It was sent to me. So let's talk about Josh Malerman for a minute. I loved Bird Box so fucking much. Oh my God, I loved that book. It was so good. I still think about that book. Everything else that I have read by him has been very, like, take it or leave it, that sort of thing. Unbury Carol was, like, very just okay. Inspection, that was also just very okay. I haven't read House at the Bottom of the Lake yet, but I hear, like, really good things about that one in particular, so I definitely actually do want to read that one. And then, what's the other one? Oh, he's re-releasing. So here's one of the things that I find interesting. So he released a book through Cemetery Dance, I think it was, called On This, the Day of the Pig, okay? He's now re-releasing that book as Pearl. I don't know if it's been like edited or like redone or anything, but like he's already released that book. I have it as On This, the Day of the Pig. So, and then there's this. This is the story of, from what I can tell, this is about the town of Goblin in 6 novellas. And that's all I really know. And I have seen very mixed reviews about it. So I'm very wary of it, to be completely honest. I'm just very wary of Josh Malerman to begin with at this point. Like, I've been let down a couple of times. So I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. And there's one thing that you guys know that I absolutely love. It is like Greek mythology. I am 100% here for Greek mythology. Circe and Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller were 2 of my absolute favorites. I read The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker and loved that. So I've had this for a while, I think since it released. And for some reason, I just haven't gotten to it yet. I don't really, oh wow, okay. It was actually blurbed by Madeline Miller herself and Erin Morgenstern. So that's actually interesting. Though we know that blurbs don't always mean good things, because I've read some stuff blurbed by Stephen King that's just like, really? This one was a stinker. Why did you put your name on it? But that's neither here nor there. I do hear good things about this one. Not only that, it's a fairly short read. I don't actually know what it's about. I don't know the name Piranesi. Okay. I just like glanced through the synopsis, and in the very bottom thing, it says, for readers of Neil Gaiman's Ocean at the End of the Lane and fans of Madeline Miller's Circe, Piranesi introduces an astonishing new world, an infinite labyrinth full of startling images, surreal beauty, haunted by the tides and by the clouds. So I'm just gonna call it right now. I feel like this is gonna be like a new favorite of mine, because like when I tell y'all I loved Ocean at the End of the Lane, I loved that book. And then obviously I was just talking about Circe and Song of Achilles. So I'm just gonna call it now. I feel like this one's gonna be a new favorite. So hopefully it is. Another one that I'm really looking forward to is Empire of Wild by Sherry Demeline. I'm so sorry. This is an Indigenous author. Hi, hello. We love that. And I think that this is a take on a werewolf story, which I'm here for. I have read another take on werewolf stories by another Indigenous author, Mongrels by Stephen Graham Jones, which is also excellent. If you haven't read it, I would recommend it. I don't know if this would actually be considered a horror, because everybody, like all of the blurbs keep talking about that it's like contemporary. So I don't really know 100%, but I am really looking forward to getting to this one. I enjoy strange fiction, and I have heard that this is some of the strangest fiction that you can read, but I also hear that it's really fucking good. I am going to be honest. I don't know what it's about. I don't want to read the synopsis. I just want to go into this like as blind as I possibly can. Like I said, I enjoy going into things blind. I also just want to talk about how much I love this book cover. I don't know why I love it so much. I think that the typeface, like the lettering and just the pink and coral on the black background, like I'm just really here for it. I kind of love it. So I'm really looking forward to this one, and I keep hearing like amazing things about it. So yes, I am excited. So as I have talked about before, I am the host of the horror book group on Likewise. Likewise is an app. I am not sponsored. Likewise is an app that basically you go in and say, like, you can post an ask and say like, hey, I'm looking for books with this particular vibe. And like people will be like, oh, hey, you'll probably like this. Like it's actual recommendations from real people. And I've gotten some really good ones. And one of the books that is consistently recommended to me in the app is Imaginary Friend. I know that this is the person who wrote Perks of Being a Wallflower. And I think that that was the only book that they had written up until this one. But this book gets recommended probably more if you just ignore Stephen King books, right? because, you know, like everybody always wants to, like you literally have to go in and say like, don't recommend me Stephen King books, because otherwise that's all you'll get sometimes. But, and y'all, horror is so much more than Stephen King, come on. But this book comes up all the time. It's a thick one. I don't know what it's about. I appreciate the cover of the little boy next to the tree and like the typefacing. It looks like it's like carved into a tree. But yeah, I am looking forward to it solely so that I can know whether or not people are correct for constantly recommending this book, because literally constantly they recommend this book. So hopefully I'll like it. I guess we'll see. Let's talk about Hailey Piper for a second. This is her short story collection, Unfortunate Elements of My Anatomy. I managed to win this. I attended like an Instagram live that she did, and I got like a trivia question right, and it's signed, and that's awesome. But Hailey Piper is, her whole slogan right now is make horror gay as fuck. And I am 1,000,000% here for that sentiment. So I have heard wonderful, wonderful things about this collection so far. I actually just read my first work of hers, which I believe was actually her first published novella, The Possession of Natalie Glasgow. And I did very much enjoy that. There's 2 other novellas plus this, and then she's in like a ton of horror anthologies as well. But I also have, actually, that I am excited about, The Worm and His Kings. So very excited to get to both of these because, you know, again, make horror gay as fuck, and then also just horror, female written horror, queer horror, like just horror in general. I'm excited. I don't know what either of them are about. I know that this one is about somebody going missing and having to like descend into like the underground subway system and something along those lines. I don't know. I watched a Q&A with her on a YouTube channel not that long ago, and they were talking about it. But very, very excited to get to both of these. Let's see here. What else is on this cart? I don't even fucking know. Fever Dream by Samantha. Fever Dream. This is a book that I've seen a lot about. It's very short, it's small. Fever Dream is a nightmare come to life, a ghost story for the real world, a love story, and a cautionary tale. That's all I'm gonna read. I literally just wrote that one sentence off the back. So all of those things together, I think I'm here for it. The horse on the cover, for some reason, concerns me. I don't know why. That's one of those like totally irrational things. I don't know. Okay, the very last thing that I'm gonna talk about today is The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. So apparently this is now a movie, and I'm gonna be honest, I thought the front of this was, if you look at it, like if you just glance at it, it looks like a person wearing a mask. Y'all, this person is not wearing a mask. This is actually like their face, trying to like get it to focus a little bit better, like, cause it's a little bright. But if you look, you can see here, it's like cracking. It's like that is coming off of them. It's very strange. I think that this is like a haunted house story. I have seen Sarah Waters talked about a lot. There's this one, The Paying Guest, Fingersmith. There's several different books of hers. From everything that I have read, she writes like very slow, very like character driven, atmospheric stories. And I am all about that sort of thing. You guys know that I love a character-driven story. You guys know that I love some atmosphere. So I am really looking forward to seeing what I think of her writing. Again, because I hear things about her all the time. Like, this is very like classic gothic style, which I've kind of been in the mood for lately, like between that and like Southern Gothic, kind of in the mood for it. So really looking forward to this, actually. All right, so those are just some highlights from the TBR cart that I have. I have no idea when I'm gonna get to these books because, as I said, I'm a mood reader. I've got a couple things on deck from NetGalley right now that I really need to finish up. I have My Heart is a Chainsaw, and I'm so fucking excited about it. I didn't think I was going to get approved for that because they denied me for, what else did they denied me for something. They denied me for like a couple of things lately, and I was like, but you just gave me Stephen Graham Jones. Like, oh, you know what? They denied me for Final Girl Support Group. That's what they denied me for. So those are just some books that I am looking forward to reading. Comment down below. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books. Are there any that you guys loved, hated, whatever? Do you guys have any recommendations for me? Please leave them in the comments below. You know that I love talking to you guys. You can also find me on Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram. All of the social media links can also be found in the down bar below. You know, always, if you like what you see and you want to see more, you can click thumbs up. You can hit subscribe if you haven't already. You can also click the little bell icon to be notified whenever I do upload. And then also in the down bar below, there you can find a plethora of different ways to support me if you so desire. So that is all I have for you guys today. I am sure that I will revisit this video at some point in the future and be like, can I read those books? And probably no, I won't have read them, but it's fine. Everything's fine. But anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. As always, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.